Okay, so be honest here. How many times today have you found yourself just staring at your phone? Like you're scrolling through absolute nonsense and you have no idea how you got here. You have zero memory of even opening the app. If you're anything like me, it's probably like 20 times a day, minimum. That feeling, that's your brain running on autopilot. It's digital amnesia. 1 minute, you're just checking a text or doing a quick Google search. And the next 45 minutes have literally vanished, gone. And you couldn't even tell me what you just consumed. It's just gone. And what's the usual fix everyone talks about? A digital detox. Ugh. And it's not that it's bad advice. Of course, quit Instagram for a weekend, delete TikTok, hide your phone in a drawer like it's a bottle of vodka. But honestly, let's be real. Detoxes do not work. They just don't because they feel like punishment. They feel like deprivation. And our brains are wired to hate that. And I've been thinking about this so much lately. Technology itself isn't the enemy. It's not. The real problem, the one we need to actually talk about, is that we've stopped curating our own attention. We've just started letting algorithms redecorate the inside of our minds. And frankly, if we let the tech bro CEOs who design these things be our own interior designers, instead of doing it ourselves, we are, and I cannot stress this enough, profoundly screwed. So today we're getting into it. We're going to talk about why your brain gets so easily hooked on the scroll and what you can actually do about it. In this episode, we're diving straight into the science behind this, like what is actually happening in your brain when you get stuck in a scroll hole. You're going to understand exactly why that zoned out kind of feeling happens because it's not a personal failure, I promise. And then I'm giving you three specific strategies to take back control. They are not about detoxing, they're about becoming the powerful, intentional curator of your own digital life. By the end of this, you'll have actual tools you can use today to make your online world feel less draining and a little more energizing. Ready? Let's dive in. Hey, I'm Noemi, former queen of bad habits and corporate go-getter turned well-being coach and personal growth junkie. And in a world full of overwhelming wellness advice, we're here to cut through the noise. This is your space to master healthy habits, transform your mindset, own your well-being, and design a life you love on your terms. We're ditching the highlight reels and embracing the whole messy, imperfect journey towards becoming our absolute best selves. You're the author of your own story. So are you ready to write the next chapter? Let's go, and welcome to Unwritten Potential. You need to understand that when you're scrolling, it's not a fair fight, like at all. You are human. Your brain is a beautiful, ancient piece of hardware, and it's up against supercomputers designed by literal geniuses to keep you hooked. Here's what's happening in your brain. Every time you scroll and see something new, a funny video, a friend's photo, a shocking headline, you get a tiny little chemical hit, a little squirt of dopamine. Dopamine is the feel-good neurotransmitter. It's associated with reward and motivation. But here's the crucial part. The rewards on your phone are unpredictable. You don't know if the next post will be boring or amazing. It's completely random. And that unpredictability is what makes it so addictive. It's exactly the same principle as a slot machine. Honestly, think about it. You pull the lever, spin the wheel. Sometimes you get nothing. Sometimes you get a cherry. Sometimes you hit the jackpot. Your brain gets hooked on the possibility of the next hit, not the hit itself. And it gets addicted to pulling the lever again and again and again. So what does this actually mean for you? It means these apps are leveraging how your brain is designed to work. it's seeking rewards. The algorithm just knows exactly how to exploit that system. And this explains so much. You know that thing when you're feeling like a zombie, you're just swiping up nonstop? That's your brain in the dopamine loop. It's just pulling the lever, hoping for a jackpot. So the first step here is just to have some compassion for yourself. There's nothing wrong with you. You're human and the game is rigged. But here's where it gets real. Once you know the game is rigged, you can stop playing it. You can stop thinking of yourself as just a consumer of content, someone who passively accepts whatever the algorithm serves up. And you can step into something way more powerful. You can become the curator. A curator doesn't just accept any piece of art that shows up at the museum door. No, a curator chooses with intention, with purpose. They decide what gets in and what stays out. This is the mindset shift that changes everything from mindless consumer to mindful curator. And that is where we take our power back. So now that we know why our brains get stuck, let's talk about what we can actually do about it. Based on this science, here are your options. And these are practical, real world strategies. Okay, so the first thing, this one is so simple, but it's a legit game changer. You need a circuit breaker for your habit loop. You know the loop, right? You feel a tiny bit bored or anxious, or you just want a distraction. That's the cue. So you reach for your phone, that's the routine. And the reward is that little dopamine hit. That loop runs on autopilot. It's totally unconscious. So your job is to interrupt it, to make it conscious again. Hence, circuit breaker. And here's how to apply it. It's so easy. Before you open that app, you know the one I'm talking about, right? For you, that might be Instagram, news app, TikTok, whatever it is. The next time you open that app, just pause. 3 seconds. That's it. 3 seconds, and in that pause, just ask yourself one question. Why am I here? Seriously, why am I opening this app right now? What do I actually want from this? That tiny pause, that simple question, that's your circuit breaker. It literally stops the habit loop dead in its tracks. It forces your conscious brain, your prefrontal cortex, to grab the steering wheel from your autopilot brain. And look, for me, sometimes the answer is, I want to see what my friends are up to. Cool, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of time, for me, the answer is just, I'm bored. Oh, I have this big task or this difficult task that I don't want to be thinking about. I would rather procrastinate right now. And once you see that, you have a choice. You can open the app anyway and scroll, and that's okay. Or you can choose to do something else. But either way, you have the power. All right, moving on to the second thing. This one is about designing your environment. Number 2, become a ruthless editor of your mental art gallery. Your feed is your mental art gallery. It's the art you choose to hang on the walls of your mind every single day. So look at it. Is it full of junk food content? Is it making you feel anxious or jealous or just terrible about yourself? If the answer is yes, you have to be absolutely ruthless. Mute, unfollow, delete 20 accounts right now that do not inspire you or educate you or genuinely light you up. Seriously, be a bouncer at the door of your own mind. You get to decide who gets in. This isn't about being mean, it's about protecting your focus and your energy. And here's how to apply this on a practical level. Stop giving your gallery opening hours. I'm really going deep with that whole curation analogy. Stop leaving your mental door wide open 24/7 for anyone to wander in. Schedule 2 or 3 15-minute check-ins a day. That's kind of how fancy art galleries do it, right? It's by appointment. Put them in your calendar if you have to. And when the time is up, the appointment is over. The gallery is closed. And this gives you back so much control. Okay, so that's number 1, the circuit breaker, and number 2, editing your gallery, which leads perfectly into the next point, which is my absolute favorite. The third strategy is to swap the scroll for real joy. You have to fill the space. Once you start curating, you're going to notice something. Empty space, quiet little pockets of time will start to appear in your day. And this is glorious. But it's also dangerous because if you don't fill that space with something good, the old habit will come back. So your job is to fill it with analog joy, the real world stuff that leaves you happy and buzzing instead of just empty. And I'm not going to tell you to take a pottery class here. Why does every self help article book recommend pottery classes? I don't know. Let me know. This is about finding tiny, easy, joyful things. Here's how to apply this. You use a design trick called choice architecture. This just means you make the good choice the easy choice. You have to make the good choice the easiest choice. Willpower is totally overrated, but a smart setup is everything. Maybe that might be creating an analog corner in your home. You know, you have a place somewhere where you put a book, a journal, a sketchbook, a guitar, whatever that might be. The point is you're making it easier to pick up a book than it is to pick up your phone. 5 minutes in that spot will feel 1,000 times better than an hour of scrolling. For real. And you know that. Another idea is a hobby sampler. Do you remember hobbies? Just do one tiny, fun, pointless thing this week. Just one, even if it's just for a few minutes. So for me, it's making music. But for you, maybe it's learning the guitar or trying poetry or painting, drawing, taking pictures, whatever it is, something that feels like play. Or if you're really feeling disconnected, go on a sensory scavenger hunt. I'm literally obsessed with this. And I try to do this at least once a week. Go outside for 10, 15 minutes without your phone and find 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste, even if it's just the fresh air. I know you're probably like, I'm going to look and feel so self-conscious and so awkward and so weird. Whatever, who cares? Even just 10, 15 minutes and boom, you're back in your body, you're back in the real world. Here's the magic loop you want to create. The more you curate your digital world, the more space you create. The more you feel that space with in real life joy, the less you even crave the empty calories of scrolling, the junk food of scrolling. That's the loop you want. Intentional, energizing, and real. If you want to go a little deeper, I have put together a great digital guide for you, the 7-day digital curator toolkit, which is a week-long guide to swapping mindless scrolling for intentional living. You can grab it in the show notes or at go.unwritten.coach/19. Okay, let's bring this all together. The big idea here is maybe stop trying to detox. It doesn't work and it might make it harder than it's supposed to be. Instead, shift your mindset from a mindless consumer to a powerful, intentional curator. You are the one in charge here. You get to step away from the slot machine because it's a rigged game, but have compassion for yourself. It's not really a willpower problem or character flaw here. It's a design problem, but you can redesign your own experience. So maybe this week, practice the circuit breaker. Try the 3-second pause before you app and just really reflect, why am I here? Make the unconscious conscious. Remember to be a ruthless editor of your mental gallery and unfollow anything that doesn't make you feel good. Give your gallery opening hours and swap the scroll for real life joy. Fill the empty spaces you create. So here's your challenge for this week. It's super simple. Choose just 2 moves. Pick one strategy to cut the junk scroll and pick one strategy to spark some analog joy. That's it. Just one of each. And if you remember one thing from today, let it be this. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your attention. And you get to decide where your attention goes. You are the curator. This is a power that no algorithm can ever take away from you. All right, that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop me a line at noemi@unwritten.coach and I will talk to you next week. Bye.